Hi guys, Sunday blessings. Hope you're all well. So I'm just coming on to do my Tarot and Oracle Sunday review for you all. So this week I'm reviewing a brand new deck that I have purchased that has come to me from beautiful friends of Bardware of Frog Lane. So some of you guys will be familiar with their makes, with their wares. They do some amazing events, and they have an amazing Facebook page, so check them out. Loads of bespoke mystical pieces. Now, I reviewed a deck that they did previously. I think it was at the start of when I did these sort of review videos, so it's on my YouTube channel if you want to check that one out. And it was more like their altar cards that they did, but they've actually purchased a beautiful brand new tarot deck. So what you get is a fantastic little bag, as you can see, so you get that with it, and then you get all the information about the cards, and obviously, so that's lovely, they've got everything sort of there, and then you get the cards themselves, which we'll look at shortly. So this is the Bardware Higher Arcana Tarot. So this is different to what you would normally get in a tarot deck. It's not got the minor arcana. This tarot deck is just based on the 22 higher arcana or major arcana cards, and I've noticed a lot of decks are starting to be done in this way. So it's really cool, it's really fun, it's really funky. And it just says here, conceived and researched by Grandad of Bardware and are beautifully illustrated are beautifully illustrated by a kind friend. These beautiful cards are a tool, the magic comes from you. Okay, so it's the Bardware Higher Arcana Tarot. Loving it. Really exciting, really fabulous to be working with this. So the person that's illustrated these cards, normally I talk about the artist, but the artist is actually a friend of theirs who wants to be kept sort of secret, which I quite like. I quite like the idea that there's a bit of mystique and magic there. So let's have a look at the cards themselves. So they are, I wouldn't say they're miniatures, but they are a smaller deck. They really look vintage to me. I love the fact they've gone for a very vintage sort of look. So this is the back of all the cards. This kind of thing you would see, and it reminds me of like what sailors in the olden days may have used. You know, you've got that sort of energy with them. They're really lovely, a nice glossy sort of finish. And then the actual thickness of each of the cards, reasonable stock quality. They're not gilded or anything, but reasonable stock quality. And then obviously on the front you've got your picture, and the artwork is really quirky. It's really hard for me to sort of describe the kind of how it looks, the style. It's just something, I've not seen anything like it before. It's very unusual. So I am going to just show you the cards so you can sort of see. Beautiful energy there. There's a lot to these, you know. They'll just, see if you can sort of see that, get the camera right there. They're just really magical, unique. I don't think I've got any sort of cards that are even similar to this actually. So obviously the Pope is the take on the Hierophant card, the Hierophant, within this deck. Got the Fool here. So they are just really unusual. Some of the images are a little bit darker. Some of them are more straightforward. So they are quirky. You know, this is a quirky deck, I think, is the best way to describe it. But for anybody that knows Carly and the team at Bardware, they're beautiful, quirky people. So it kind of interlinks with their energy really well. But this is a really great little deck. I know it's a deck that I'm going to use. I've already been working with it actually behind the scenes. And it's just a fantastic deck. I love to have original stuff. That's what I think I love. There's so much within tarot nowadays. I really like that card, the version of the Hanged Man. There is so much mass-produced stuff nowadays. So I always like to support, you know, the more independent decks that come out and come about. And this is definitely one of those. So it's pretty powerful stuff, guys. It's interesting because you've got the Tower card here, but they actually sort of say the lightning struck tower. Lightning struck, sorry. Stuck or struck? I can't see that. Stuck, I think it says. So some of them are slightly different, or they've had a few alterations here and there, but I think that's really cool. It kind of keeps the quirkiness of it all, you know. The Devil card. That one is representative of my Capricorn star sign energy, so it's always interesting when I see the Devil card because obviously it links on quite a few levels for me. The Magician. I'm going to show you all of these because there's only 22 in the deck. I really love this card, the High Priestess. I love this card anyway, but I always love to see people's interpretations. Look at the moon there, though, the face and the moon, if you can see that. Powerful, powerful cards, guys. Temperance. And then we've got, oops, the Wheel of Fortune coming in here. So as you can see, the artwork on these is really intricate, it's really different. They look quite vintage. The star, this is lovely, this is beautiful. You know, you often see a really nice sort of version of the star anyway, but this is really, really beautiful. The card of Strength. That's really interesting because as a rule, the card of Strength is usually pictated as a female. So I like the fact they've actually put like a masculine energy into that. That's different. That's quite quirky. It's unusual to see a masculine sort of energy. And I'm thinking it's masculine just because the fact it's got the big beard and the torso. I'm just checking that that isn't a female in disguise. Then we've got the card of the Hermit coming in. And the final card of Judgment. Obviously they weren't in order of the Fool's Journey or anything. But that's the cards, guys. So I love them. Really unusual, really different, but quirky. So as ever, let's work with these. Let's see what we've got coming up, what we need to know about for Sunday, but more importantly for the week ahead. So I'm asking the cards to give us something. They do glide really, because they're a nice delicate size, they do glide really nicely in the hand. So I'm asking a card for the highest of good for Sunday and the week ahead, what we need to know about, guidance to be given. Oops. Just having a think about it today, and I'm sure one will still fly at me like they normally do. Normally when I sort of ask for these, I get one just fly across the room. So I'm sure we're going to get something similar of that format today. Just thinking about them. Here we go. Oh, okay. So we've got the card of the Chariot coming in here, if you guys can see that. So the card of the Chariot. Now, within this, you don't get a book as such. You get obviously just this little leaflet, obviously with it all in. So what I have to do is literally now go into this and find where the Chariot is. Obviously it's got the Roman numerals on there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm really rubbish with Roman numerals, so I'm not going to be able to find it that way. So I'm going to literally have to just look for it. So it's at the bottom here. So what we've got, and it's quite interesting because you, rather than having like a long message, these are a deck where you're sort of encouraged to work with your own intuition. And what we've got going on here with the Chariot, it just says here, strong will, a time to take control, assertiveness, take the reins, willpower. And from an astrological place, they just put what they kind of link with. So this particular Chariot card links with the energy of Cancer or Cancerian. So interesting, guys. So that is our message for the week ahead. So it's about being determined, strong-willed. It's time to take control. So if there are aspects of your life that you feel you're being dictated to by, it's time to sort of stand in your truth, stand in your power. like it says here, assertiveness, take control of the reins, and willpower. So it's all about moving forward. I always see the Chariot card when I do a reading myself as moving forward. Sometimes it can indicate changes in property as well. So if you've been up against any sort of formats with your property, whether it's that you're just wanting to redecorate, redo, make something feel a bit fresher, or it could be that you're needing to move forward, move on from something. Okay, so very often I find the Chariot card comes up if there are just some decision makings around homes. So it could be some of you are perhaps going to sell a house and buy something brand new. It could be that some of you that maybe rent are looking into new properties or wanting to make changes there. So it's all about moving forward, but staying really sort of focused on how you want your world to be. So that's the cards, guys. In terms of their quality, they are unusual, they are unique. Like I say, they are handmade, which I really like. They're not mass produced. So bonus points for anything that's handmade, because I think anybody that bothers to do that in this current time and space, that gets an instant tick from me, you know. So this is going to be one of my 10 decks. The artwork, I can't even think what I can describe it like to anything else that I've seen. It's really unusual, it's really unique, in a good way, not in a bad way, in a really, really good way. But there's a vintage feel to these cards. I like that. There's a real vintage feel. They remind me of some of like the early sort of, well, I wouldn't say the early, but they remind me of some of like the 1980s sort of tarot decks you sometimes can come across, which are worth quite a lot of money in today's sort of space and time. So it is one of my 10 decks. It's fast becoming one of my 10 decks. If you're interested and you want to purchase this deck yourself, then you can go onto the Bardware of Frog Lane Facebook page, and you know most of you are familiar with this, I would think anyway, because they run a lot of great markets. Not at the moment, but they have been running a lot of great markets. But having said that, they're doing a lot of online markets at the moment, so they're still running stuff. So I'll attach their link if you want to purchase one of these decks yourself. They are the amazing price of £8.50. I don't think I've ever known a tarot deck so cheap. £3.50 for postage, or if you're around and if you're able to collect from the guys direct, then obviously it would just be £8.50. But fantastic, fantastic deck. Really different, really quirky. For anyone that likes bespoke, for anybody that likes something, you know, just a little bit different and unique, this deck is definitely for you. So it's the Bardware Higher Arcana Tarot. Invest in it, check it out, see how you feel, see how it resonates with you. But a beautiful deck to have into the collection, and I can't wait to work with it more. So going to leave the energy of that with you. Stay safe, stay well, have a magical week ahead. Catch you all soon. Bye.